So before we dive into today's math problem, let's take a brief moment to relax and focus on our breathing wherever you are. Sit up straight with your head right above your shoulders and your shoulders squarely above your hips. Your feet are flat on the ground and your hands are resting on your thighs, either palms down or palms facing up. You can even have your forefingers touching your thumbs in an OK sign if you want. And gently close your eyes. Breathe in slowly and deeply through your nose. And breathe out also through your nose, nice and slowly. And on your next inhale through your nose, see if you can observe the temperature of that air that you're breathing in. Does it seem a little cool? And as you exhale through your nose slowly, does the air seem a little warmer? Take another deep inhale deeply through your nose, sending the breath to any parts of your body that may be feeling a little tense. And slowly exhale through your nose, feeling that tension release. Take one more deep inhale, nice and slowly, filling your belly, your sternum, as your spine grows nice and tall. Hold your breath for a few seconds at the top. Relax your shoulders. And see how slowly you can release the breath through your nose as you feel a deeper sense of relaxation. And then gently open your eyes. All right, so here's a multiple choice problem from the College Board. It comes from the SAT test, section 3, which does not allow calculators. And the problem says, in the XY plane above, ABCD is a square and point E is the center of the square. The coordinates of point C and E are 7, 2, and 1, 0 respectively. Which of the following is an equation of the line that passes through B and D? And we have 4 equations as our choices. So take a minute to work on this, see what you can do. It's fine if you're not sure how to approach this. You can even just guess what the right answer may be. And then we'll have a look at it together. There's a lot of information here, and this is a pretty complex question. So I'm going to show you a hack, and you may very well be amazed by how easy it makes this question. They want to know the equation of the line that goes through B and D. So let's draw that line. And I'm not great at drawing, but even that crude sketch is going to be sufficient for our finding the answer. And the key is that this is a multiple choice problem. So all we have to do is figure out which of those 4 choices is the correct one. We don't necessarily have to find and compute the actual equation ourselves. We can use process of elimination. So the first thing I want you to notice is that the x scale, or the x-axis, goes up by 2s, right? It goes 2, 4, 6 for each of those evenly spaced marks. And the y-axis also goes up by 2s. It goes 2, 4, 6. So let's look at the slope of the line that we drew here, the orange line that goes from B to D. What are the slopes that are shown in the choices? There we have -3. Yeah, that seems like that's a reasonable slope. It's pretty steep and negative. And B is also -3. Look at C and D. Notice how the slope offered for those is -1/3. Well, that's not going to be steep enough because, as we mentioned, the axes are scaled evenly. So that blue mark just going from corner to corner in a square is going to be -1. And you can see that the orange line has a slope that's greater than the blue line. So it's greater than -1. And -1/3 is not greater than -1. So I can immediately eliminate C and D just by looking at the slope of the orange line. Okay, so now let's look at the y-intercept. Okay. This one, choice A, has a y-intercept of -1. Does that seem reasonable? Well, -1 is down there, and the orange line doesn't cross the y-axis that low. So I can eliminate A. Well, let's just check whether B, which is the only answer that's left, makes sense. The y-intercept there is -1 times -3, which is +3. And let's ask ourselves if that looks reasonable. Well, yeah, it does look reasonable. It looks like it's crossing between 2 and 4. So through this process of elimination, we've determined that B is the correct answer. And in fact, that is right. So notice that we were able to just look at the line itself. Notice that I didn't even need all that information that was provided in the beginning about the fact that we're talking about a square, that there are coordinates for C and E provided, and then we're trying to find B and D in relationship to it. So all I had to do was just look at the slope and the y-intercept of the line in question to determine if the correct answer is B. I hope that you enjoyed seeing this strategy. It's one that I think encourages you to analyze some of these visual problems and draw upon what you know about slope and y-intercept to use process of elimination to find the right answer. If you have any questions, or if you would like to make any suggestions or requests, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And if you subscribe to this channel, you'll be notified of new videos as they become available. I enjoyed working together, and I look forward to seeing you next time.